We have a guest in studio today. She could be talking broken bones, I suppose, because she actually knew Evil Knievel. Um,
Boy, that's taken me back.
he suffered a lot of those. Shalene Gilliland is joining us from Dr. Tripp's office this morning, Tripp Family Medicine, here in Twin Falls, and uh, you're filling in because the doctor is busy with some other issues, and the rest of the office is filling in for the doctor.
Absolutely.
And you've got a lot going on over at the office, though, coming up this fall.
We do. And so I'm here to share some of those things with you. And I appreciate you giving me a chance to do that
Sure.
today. So, our office has the freedom to kind of create the kind of environment we want to. And so, some of the things we're going to do this fall are announcements. People haven't heard yet that we're doing them. Some of them, the word's gotten out a little bit. Some of them are things we do every fall. So, just some good reminders as well as some new things to consider. So, the first thing that I think that the audience would be interested in hearing is that we are hiring. So we say that we're always accepting new patients. Well, at some point, the more patients you accept, the more people you need to help them. And we want to make sure that our patient to staff ratio never gets too tight, that we always have enough time for our patients. And so one of the things that the trips are sure to do is have enough staff on hand to help. So the kind of positions that we are looking for right now are LPNs and our medical receptionist or our front desk staff and billing. So you may not be just someone who does one of those things. You may be someone who does both of those things. Maybe you're an LPM who's crossed over to the billing side, or maybe you're also a cosmetologist who loves the receptionist side of things. As you know, we do a lot of cosmetic skincare. And so when we meet the right person and we interview them, then we'll know how to fit them into our schedule. So it's hard to say that we're just hiring an LPN just to take care of the clinical side of things, or that we're just hiring someone to answer phones. Because in our office, we have the freedom to do a lot of things. And hence, me on the radio. I get the freedom to do lots of things.
You referenced the billing. Now, I know a lot of people who do billing in other businesses. Medical billing is a little different. Does it require that background, that medical billing background?
So it's interesting that coding is definitely an aptitude. So it's definitely something that you've got to like to do. You've got to put the puzzle
Hmm.
together, to take what the experience was and turn it into a logical code or a sequence of codes so that the insurance company understands what took place. So many people go and take coding classes or they become certified in that. We are fortunate in the position that that's not required for the position, because we'd rather hire the person with the right aptitude to fit within our staff, the right personality, a person who's flexible, a person who has the positive nature that we really look for, and the rest can be taught.
I was going to say the hours are pretty good too. I mean, you're not working a lot of late nights and weekends.
Absolutely not yet.
Yeah.
Now, I say that because our patients are really hoping that we'll extend our hours a little bit and offer some of those more urgent care type hours. But at this point, yes, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 is our general hours.
Now, if someone wants to apply, do they just drop by the office?
Well, they have a couple different options. Okay, there's an email that they can send their resume to, and I would encourage a cover letter as well. That helps us to get to know you personally as well. That cover letter and resume can be sent to office
Hmm.
at trippfamilymedicine.com if you want to send it via email. If you happen to have access to a fax machine, which in this day and age, we don't think anybody uses those anymore, but the medical world lives by them. So we have our fax machine, area code 208-933 4400. That's 933-4400. Fax that to us. But Bill, what I'd really suggest is getting dressed up and bringing it on in,
Yeah.
because we really do put a lot of weight, not just on experience, but on that temperament.
And just so you can actually get to chat with the person for a couple of minutes.
Yes, yes, that's wonderful. And not that we're always available, but the front desk staff is always there to take that resume.
That's how I got my first radio job. I walked in and I was talking to the receptionist, and a fellow behind the desk stopped and started asking me questions. He was the president of the company. So
You
that
never
made it
know who you're going to talk to. That's absolutely
very
true.
true.
Be prepared. When my son went into the mall to look for a job and he was just going to go with his friends door to door, and I said, absolutely not. Let me give you a few tips. Get dressed up, go by yourself.
Right.
And so we're not going to be hiring until about mid-October. So you do have some time to put together your resume. And what I want to tell your listeners is share this message with someone you know within the industry that you would like to have treating you. If you say, "This person's awesome. I would love them to be there when I got there," kind of thing. That's the kind of people that we would really love to have on staff.
You've also got another one of these peel parties coming up, which you did a few months ago. Got a good turnout, right?
We did. This spring, we did a peel party. We were completely booked solid. We had a waiting list. We've contacted that waiting list, fill in a few spots, and now we're ready to announce that we are doing two peel parties. We realized that maybe we better give people a second date, to coordinate with their schedules. So coming up on October 19th and November 9th, those are both Thursday evenings, we will be doing our peel parties. Now, um, first of all, you got to know what a peel is to be interested in that. So if and I don't say appeal as in APPEAL, but APEEL. So a chemical peel is what we'll be doing. So if you've heard about these, if you've reached that age where you've started to think about your skincare, either for acne or aging or discoloration, rosacea, any of those reasons, a chemical peel, though sounds harsh, is actually a base of, I believe it is apricot nectar that or peach nectar that our chemical peels start with, and they build from there. And so, um, if you are kind of interested, but you're not really sure
Right.
what this is, you've not heard enough about it, you want to learn a little bit more, we are actually doing a seminar, a free seminar before the peel parties, so that you can come and dive into all the information that's available. Dr. Tripp, with 15 years of cosmetic skincare experience in Scottsdale, Arizona, will be doing this seminar. And you'll get to ask questions, and he'll talk about what's glycolic versus Mandela, and what is your skin tone, and how many peels do you need to get your skin looking 5 to 10 years younger.
You
Bill?
you mentioned the fruit though too, the
Yeah.
apricot and the like.
Uh
That
huh.
sounds healthy.
It's not chemical. I mean, it is chemical in the way that it's been derived, but
Right.
I don't want to scare people away because, Bill, I come from the outside. I'm not medically trained. I spent my 20 years in mall marketing, and it took me 2 years to believe in this, to get myself on the table to say, okay, do it. I'm just gonna lay here. To believe that, one, it was safe, two, that I needed it, and that it would really affect me. And I think those are the questions that we all have coming into it. Why do I need it? Is it gonna hurt? How much downtime am I gonna have? And is it really gonna, is it something that I really should add to my skincare regimen? I can tell you now, 2 years into doing pills, that when somebody walks up to you and says, "Your skin looks so bright. What have you been doing?" and it makes you feel good. And you know that you're doing that it's a good thing.
I was going to mention too as well. There's another topic you have that I think I just have a simple cold. I think it's a little too early for flu season. But for those people who realize, I'll tell you what. Yesterday, I think I actually had a few moments where I thought it was the flu, with fever and everything else. There are ways to avoid that, and a lot of people are hesitant about getting the vaccination, but the vaccination can do wonders.
It can. The vaccination, they've come a long ways. I remember when I was a young kid, my father said, "Oh, you don't need that. It's last year's flus." And in some regard, that's true because that's all we have to go on. We don't know what strains are developing into at this point. But we live in Idaho, and there's a chance that those flus haven't made it here. And by having those vaccinations, we are that much more safe. Now, what's interesting is I went to a training, and again, keeping in mind that I'm not coming into this from a clinical standpoint, I'm coming in as an outsider going, why should I get my flu shot? And what we hear a lot is, oh, I got sick after I got it. You're not guaranteed not to have a reaction. And that's what we try to tell people is if you have a reaction to the flu shot, it is an nth time the quality of what you would have gotten if you would have gotten the flu. And so don't be surprised if you have a little bit of a reaction, and so that they're not freaked out when that happens. Some people do, some people don't, and a lot of it's in the administration of it. If you don't put it in the right place,
Right.
it might hurt. And so we are qualified to help you do that. And I want to encourage you to go to your primary physician for your flu shot and not to a place that can't also analyze your health care at the same time.
I had an employer that used to actually sponsor these for us, And I got that one fall. I got the shot, and I had a very mild. I had a reaction, but it was very
Yeah.
mild, and but I was healthy the rest of the winter.
Awesome. And we can do those flu shot clinics for employers. So if you would like us to come to your office and basically kind of like a little flu shot factory, we'll just boom, boom, boom and be out of your hair. And we'll provide the information to your employees, some packets, some things so that they can make that choice. But many employers wish that you would do that so that they would much rather pay for the cost of the flu shot than to pay for the
Right,
time off.
right. You've convinced Janice to do this, right?
I'll get on Ms. Degner pretty heavy if that's what I need to do.
Also, you mentioned the coat drive, and we've got a slight reminder this week of what's coming. And it's going to get a lot colder. And there are predictions, in fact, that this winter, we're praying, but that this winter could be worse than last winter. And there are people out there who just simply have either a threadbare coat or no coat at all.
Okay, so Bill, you just brought up two issues there, and I know sometimes the person who sits across from you on this microphone can
Right.
take you on in a controversial situation, and you just said that God forbid we should have a horrible winter, and you're talking to a snow lover. So
Yeah.
last winter was my most favorite winter ever. So, but I did have a good coat, and that was a huge blessing. You know, I had a car that worked and good tires, so I hope that everybody can have those same blessings, and that's why we're doing this coat drive. Is we start it early than most coat drives because we recognize that this is the time you're pulling the boxes out of the garage, you're pulling the coats out of the back of the closet, you're trying them on the kids, you're realizing that they just don't fit anymore, and what can you do with it? Well, if you'll bring the coat to our office, and we're at 1411 Fillmore Street, so we're across from the post office, and I often tell people, how do you get into our office? Well, you can only turn into the post office one way. So instead of turning into the post office, you turn into our office, and we're
Right.
just right there. And if you'll bring those coats to us, then about the 1st of November, mid November, I think we take those to Valley House, and they are so appreciative. They are able to stock the whole winter. So you say, well, that might be a little late. Well, people arrive at Valley House all through the season, and so they're ready for them.
And you reference the kids. Sometimes you buy your kid a coat, and they grow so fast that one season later it still looks like new, and yet it doesn't fit any longer.
We got all varieties. Let me tell you, last year when we did this, we had everything from nice, heavy um, men's coats all the way down to some jackets and different things, and every single one of them was appreciated. I ran into a lady the other day who said, my husband's got 4 extra jackets in the closet. So I wrote down the name of our business. I said, bring them on over. We'd love to include those in our donations. So our goal is right around 70 coats each year. Last year, I believe we delivered 115. So we really, really appreciate the
Right.
support.
And I would probably say that wives are the deciding factor in a lot of these decisions when it comes to too many clothes in the closet. Most men have heard that. Why do you still have that? Question comes up.
It's a security thing, you know.
Got about a minute to go. You also, since we talked a little bit about flu shots, but you also wanted to mention immunizations as well.
Okay, so in about a week, we will be launching full immunizations for youth and adults. So this means that any of your children's well child checks. So they come in for their checkup at 2 months, at 6 months, at 12 years before they go into seventh grade. All those points where they need those immunizations as part of the a regular schedule. We have access to the history of your immunizations now, and we have those available. So this is something that we've been working very hard on preparing for, training, receiving our stock, doing all those things to be prepared to be full service to our families with children.
That's true. Family medicine is like one-stop shopping.
You can get your labs done in our office. You can, get a facial while you're there. We'll take care of you.
You'll be walking out a new man or woman.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's what we hope because life's too short not to feel good.
Aha. See, I didn't have to say it today. Want to thank you for coming by.
Thank you, Bill. It's been a pleasure.
Well, you act like you've done it before.
I've been on the radio a few times over the years.
There you go. Coming up on 9 o'clock, want to thank Shalene Gilliland for joining us from Tripp Family Medicine this morning. And we're at 51, a very slow moving thermometer this morning, not going to get a lot warmer. We've got news coming up next, and then Got to share a quick story with you in the next hour about a woman who practices or claims to practice witchcraft and says she's been casting spells on politicians. Well, one, you fill in the blank and guess which one that is.